Jay's first again. Mish, um, can you guys see me? Are you back? I went hard to zero just then. Everything crashed out. I had no like signs of problem leading up to it. It's just all of a sudden, bang, gone. Um, but it came back. Hope that's not a sign of the times. They are still doing construction. They're not. They're a little bit far enough away that I can't really hear it. But I'm always worried that they're gonna like hit a line or something. Because yeah, I just that was just a hard out. That's out enough that it's going to have broken the VOD as well. So we're going to have a little tiny short VOD and then hopefully one long one at the end. That's I don't know. I was on board. I'm on board. I'm pro strawberry pasta. I was saying that's that's where the concept we're working with today came from. Was could you use fruits other than tomatoes with pasta? I think strawberries are an excellent choice. Um, yeah, I'm not dropping it into frames. Twitch is freaking out about it, but OBS is just saying, "Hey, we're good." Um, so I guess we keep an eye on things. Like, yeah, I got no instability. Nice rock solid bit right over here. They're still doing construction. They're not doing it right back here, although I wish they would because they clearly haven't finished. They clearly haven't finished back here. They just stopped. They're across. They're laying new utility infrastructure under the road. So they dug up the entire road over there, and they filled it all in, and they were doing stuff. Well, they just dug it all back up. So I don't know what they're doing anymore. It seems like they seemed like they were just about done, and now they're back to digging again. So yeah, they're still doing road work. In theory, somewhere in all this construction, they should be laying fiber optics, because I was told that I should be in the fiber network by this November, and then construction started. So the hope is that at the end of all this, I'll have a nice rock solid fiber connection with a company that's not Spectrum. I'm going for a real small mince. I want our veggies here to have the best chance of really breaking down. Yeah, I don't know. No, the alley back behind here, where the kitchen door leads out, they didn't dig it up because they're not laying any infrastructure under the alley. Uh, they just stripped it, graded the whole thing, and paved it. But then now they've spray painted a bunch of lines on it, and also they clearly didn't finish it because all like the stakes and the flags and all that stuff are still in there. The bigger knife. That one's kind of annoying for this. And also, there's a pile of gravel where I normally park, and they put that there. So I want them to come back and keep doing work, but they haven't done it. It's annoying. Well, they're digging more than just fiber. They were laying It looked like they were laying all new water and sewer. Like they're doing a full infrastructure thing and repaving the road. It's a full refresh. They'll probably run the fiber, unless they're laying it now. They'll probably run it just under, but no, they're putting in big pipes and stuff. So definitely more than just that. Like they had to cut my power and my water at different times because they had to replace though and the gas line, but I it's summer, so I wasn't using that at various times to get through this stuff. Bookwoman. Hey, remember what I said about the sound commands? I didn't do them, so you still don't have a sound command. But oh my God, thank you for 33 months. You keep coming back. I just can't get rid of you. Thanks so much for the 33rd month. That, if you're keeping track, is almost a year. Thank you so much. We were just meeting my plus here and talking about the ongoing road construction and the fact that we had a hard stream drop just a few minutes ago, just exactly 7 minutes and 36 seconds ago, with no forewarning. And since they're digging across the street, I'm blaming them. Because other than that, my connection is great. On Jupiter? Yes, they're digging on Jupiter, directly across the street. We have streets on Jupiter. That's a mirepoix. With shallot instead of onion, but shallots are a kind of onion, kind of. Finely minced up celery, onion, and carrot that will be gently cooked to sweat it off, which will let it enhance its sweetness. Wow, this one was really sprouted. We're just going to go ahead and take that sprouted core out of there entirely. It was growing a whole new bulb of garlic inside this bulb of head of garlic. I guess that means that one's a little bit old. But welcome, welcome. How's it going? Thank you so much for the 33 months. Perpetual garlic. That is how you grow more garlic. You plant the cloves, and they sprout into new garlics. At least that's the easy way to propagate garlic. You can propagate garlic from seed, but then you're in for a multi-year tending. But that's most vegetables. The whole idea of gardening and farming is you can get infinite food out of it. Comes out the ground, you know. It just kind of comes out the ground. do a little bit of work to make it more consistent and better, but if you just did nothing, food just kind of bursts out of the ground. Okay, our mirepoix, our garlic, our blueberries. And we're gonna weigh stuff out. Reminds me of the trend with Hustle Bros getting excited for using 5 tomatoes to grow. I mean, that is how tomatoes work. There's a lot of seeds in those tomatoes that we just kind of throw away. I'm measuring out 103 and 2 and 2. 100 grams of butterflies. The only thing I'm measuring. You could try selling 1 million tomatoes for pure profit. Not quite as simple as it sounds. We're not doing any bacon today. We're not doing meat elements. If we want to boost up our savoriness, I think I'm going to go with miso instead. That'll give us that umami hit. We've also got plum jam that I need to use more of because I made a lot of it. And that we might put just a dab of that in to sort of enhance the fruitiness and potentially the color. Yeah. Last time I did this, I picked through to find only the nicest blueberries because the blueberries I had were a little on the old side. These are all so perfect and nice that I think I'm just going to forget that step and go ham on the blueberries, but without the ham because this is a veggie dish. Anything else I want to throw in here? Just trying to give a quick think. We're not doing butter. We're going to do olive oil instead. Freezer's all full of meat. Not really sure why I'm looking in the freezer. Not ham for sure. Shrimp. Go shrimp on the blueberries. Yeah, and you don't want to cook out miso too hard, so we're not going to put that in until the end. You know, this might be an opportunity to taste test this. We should taste test the last little dab of sriracha, because we got a little dab of one more variety of sriracha, and I haven't tasted it because I want to taste it live. See what's different about it. Also, hi, Bob. Let's see, we're going to want... the pasta to be ready to go before the sauce is ready to go. So we'll start the boiling water now. On the back corner there. With a big old pinch of salt. Oh, well, you're welcome. I also am happy to have introduced myself to it. That was my first ever taste of the brand. You saw it with me live on the go. I haven't even actually tried any of their other things. They make a bunch of other hot sauces that aren't sriracha. Um, yeah, and then let's get the mirepoix started. Oops. We'll be right back. We'll be right back immediately. Um, good amount of oil. We don't want this stuff drying out. Normally, I do a mirepoix for a sauce in more of a high-sided pot. But for this, I want to be able to toss the pasta. And rather than transferring containers or pans, getting a bunch of extra stuff dirty, I'm just going to do it in here and be kind of gentle with it. A high-sided pot helps it not dry out so much. We're going to go on low, not low. We're going to go on medium low. Medium low, and to add a little bit of salt. By a little bit of salt, I mean quite an amount of salt. Be mindful on the salt because you need salt to help your veggies sweat out. You need low temperature, and you need them to be minced up as finely as you can so they really can soften up before they do any browning. And then I don't know how to make radish rosettes. I wanted to make some sort of decorative thing for this. So I got radish. Which I will rinse off because the radish is very dirty. Clean radish. And then the reason I picked the fattest carrot I could find is I also wanted to carve some kind of decorative shape from there as well. Have like little decorative thingies on the side. Oh, this is actually a good idea. I'm going to go right now before I forget, while stuff is just kind of warming up, and cut a bunch of herbs because we're going to need a bunch of herbs. Oh, my poor grapevine. My grapevine is heavily lost. It picked something I don't know what to do about it. The leaves are getting real gnarly. I know what the disease is, but I don't think it's fixable. Okay. Bunch of fresh parsley and a cutting of fresh basil. We will keep the very top of it to decorate the plate. And this part is going to go in our sauce. The basil's doing really well this year, which is a big change from last year when I had so little basil that I was not able to harvest any for the winter, and I ended up running out. Had to buy dried basil, which was not nearly as good. But it's doing really, really well this year, so there. I might even be tempted to go back out and grab a second sprig, or just the topper bit. Our water is vigorously boiling back there in the corner, so I shall add our pasta to it. Bring the temperature down a smidge. And we want that to be al dente because we're going to want to finish it in the sauce. This stuff, so not fully cooked to doneness, we're shooting for a little shy of that. This stuff is starting to sizzle. Which we want to make sure we're not heavily browning it. We want these to soften up to the point where they will just practically fall apart. The sizzle should indicate that we're just expressing water from the veggies and it is bubbling in the hot oil, keeping the temperature from getting too out of control. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just kind of gonna watch things cook for a minute here. We should use one of these parsleys as a second decorative. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll also destem the parsleys. We don't need to use the parsley stems today. So, what's everyone else having for dinner, or breakfast, or midnight snack? Misha's probably having midnight snack. You keep checking. We didn't suddenly abruptly disconnect again. I want to try the radish and carrot garnishes this time because the last time, for one thing, I had a big slab of chicken on the top because apparently I didn't have any faith in the blueberry sauce on its own, which is definitely a thing I used to do more often, where I would have no faith in the main thing I was doing, so I would make a main event for it. But you know, a garlic crusted chicken isn't like groundbreaking cooking. It's after midnight for MJ too. I guess I have no idea where MJ lives, but no midnight snack. No midnight snack. If I'm up to midnight, I always have a snack. Sometimes I have more than a snack because at that point I just start getting hungry again. Up so long. Have an entire oyster bar. Make sure that our butterflies aren't sticking to each other over here. Classic jalapeno hot sauce, original habanero hot sauce, small batch plum reaper hot sauce. Well, probably I'm guessing the sriracha because that was the winner of our sriracha taste test was Yellowbird. So this one right here, Blue Agave Sriracha, that was the winner. That was the top-rated winner for our grand taste test. In no small part, just because it does something different. It's not just trying to be the Hoi Fong Sriracha. It's trying to be its own thing and succeeding. Some of the other ones that didn't do so well tried to be their own thing and didn't hit the mark. I got mine at Woodman's. I've also seen it at the little organic foods store. It's a little bit of a premium brand compared to the most of the rest of them. So it comes in a small bottle and also costs more than the rest of them. So that's a consideration. I got that little bottle for $6. I've seen it, depending on which store you go to, for quite a bit more than that sometimes. I think Trader Joe's also carries it. The Amazon grocery store probably carries it. But yeah, it's really tasty. And again, I'm not in the market to buy any more hot sauce right now. But based on how good that one was, I would like to try their other hot sauces as well. Their non-sriracha hot sauces as well, because apparently they're pretty good. Their company's pretty good at what they do, so it's a good sign. If one of their things is good, that's usually a decent starting point for other flavors. Since we're talking about sriracha, let's do the taste test. So this one of the ones that I had initially looked for and could not find locally, and I didn't want to order stuff in, was Texas Pete. Texas Pete is a classic major just hot sauce brand. They also make a sriracha, and I wasn't able to find it, and I was a little dismayed about that fact. But turns out, Firehouse Subs, on their hot sauce bar, one of the options they have is Texas Pete Sriracha. They offered to sell me a bottle for way too much money. And I was like, no, I don't need a whole... First of all, I don't need another whole bottle of Sriracha. Second of all, that's way above market rate. But what they did let me do was get one of these little sample cups, because you can take hot sauce with you when you get takeout, and just fill it up with a dab. So I did that, brought it home, and I was just needed an opportunity to give it a good old taste. Let's drain my pasta before I do this, because I don't want it to overcook. It was, I think they were going to do it for $12 a bottle, and the bottle was like your standard size bottle. It was way too much. It was 10 or 12. It was something like that. It would have been my most expensive sriracha purchase if I did that, which is too much. Um, okay, those guys can just chill out over there. So I don't have any rice ready, so we're just gonna go in with, I know, I'll use one of my pasta noodles. Anyways, we're just gonna taste it. Give it a go. It's much waterier. It's much more like a hot sauce consistency than any of the other ones we were working with in our taste test. I haven't tasted straight sriracha since our taste test. It's quite spicy. Ooh. It's spicy. It's vinegary. It's only a little bit garlicky. It's very thin. Ugh. It's very vinegar forward. It's spicy and vinegary and just like a little garlic hit. I don't think it's hitting the mark for what people are going to be thinking of when you say to them sriracha, because it's thin and very vinegary. The taste is good. Actually, it's just kind of a tasty hot sauce. It reminds me of Frank's, but with some garlic in it. I'm not super familiar with Texas Pete's. In fact, let me back up there. I'm not at all familiar with Texas Pete. I don't believe I've ever had Texas Pete hot sauce, so I don't know if this is just Texas Pete hot sauce with garlic, or if it's something different. It tastes like a standard sort of southern Louisiana style hot sauce with garlic in it. So it's not bad. Probably give it a. It's not really living up as a sriracha though. I'd probably give it a C. I'd probably give it a C because it's not. It's a little bit better than did not. It's not bad, but it's not. It's a did not read the assignment, but it's like a little bit better than that. So a C. That's glad I didn't get a whole bottle of that stuff. Okay, little taste test. While I was talking, I threw the garlic in with the mirepoix and started it around. It didn't look like anything, so I didn't really draw much attention to it. But it really, really smells like garlic in here now. So there you go. That happened. I'm going to throw in about maybe a third of this worth of blueberries. Like I said, these blueberries were in such like nice, pristine condition that I'm not even worried about picking through them. But if your blueberries are not quite wow, they turned jet black. Wow, did they turn jet black as soon as they got oiled up. I used the signal I used to tell when I wanted to add the garlic was when the shallots had gone pretty much entirely transparent. Glacier! Glacier! Thank you so much! You subscribed for 3 months! Three months. Wow. Thank you so much. I'll make a. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Hey, let me give you a shout out. You do that streaming thing. Glacier does that streaming thing too. How's it going? Welcome in. We are just at the stage of adding our blueberries to our mirepoix and getting them going. There's already purple stuff coming out of them. Blueberries aren't. Oh, there's a stem. Okay, I shouldn't have just dumped because I should have made sure to pull the stems. Because the stems won't cook out. Blueberries aren't super duper watertight the way cranberries are, so they won't just like burst and form a mush. But we're essentially going for that same idea where we're cooking them out until they start to break down, and then we're going to mash them into a rich purple mushy mash. I should mince up my basil that we're going to add to it. That's not going to sit in there because I don't want to melt off my silicone. So we're going to slide back over. We're going to mince up our basil. Probably one of the worst jobs I've ever done on that. Oh, dang. It just occurred to me, I was supposed to save some of our pasta water. Because you need some starchy water to pull the sauce together. What are we gonna do about that now that I've dumped it all down the drain? Not all of it. Oh, hold on, not all of it. A little bit got caught in this bowl. A little bit got caught in this bowl, which was our mirepoix bowl. It's a tiny, tiny, precious amount. This was underneath where I poured it, and we got a tiny, precious amount. And the only other thing that was in this was the mirepoix that we are currently cooking, so hopefully that's enough to save it. Let's get back to the stovetop. Because we need these blueberries to just kind of fall apart into a mash. Tempted to just get out the masher. Pasta water is used in this way so often because the starch that dissolves. Oh, my thing says welcome to the chat room. Did I lose you guys again, or was that just one of those Twitch being twitchy deals? Let me know if you can't see or hear me. I'm essentially doing with this what you do when you're making beans and greens. Nobody responded, so I guess you can't hear me? That's unfortunate. Anybody say anything in chat if you can hear this. MJ can hear me. Meg says no. Okay, you can hear me. So, thank you. I wasn't sure because I got that thing where the Twitch chat says welcome back, and since we earlier did have the stream fall out completely, I was a little worried that it happened again. Also, hi Mags, welcome in. Ryu was feeding the dog. Glacier says yes. A bit of a strange way to introduce yourself, but hi, Satyrus. Hello. I'm adding the little bit of water I was able to muster to our thing. And now we can actually probably bring the temperature up on it a bit. There should be some pectin in the blueberries as well that'll help this thicken. It's just unusual. I'm not going to read it out loud, but it's a bit of an unusual way to introduce yourself. No shade at all. You do you. Basil goes in. I should probably separate out some of the parsley for garnish before I dump it all in. We're going to throw the parsley in there as well. But how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Okay, basil, parsley in. Get them stirred in. They'll get the flavors infusing. I think we need more water. Just straight up normal water in here. Jay! Jay, what are you doing? Jay, you know you're not welcome here. You come into my house, talk about my bubbling. Hi, Jay. 16 months. Oh my God. That's a lot of months. That's almost a year. How the time flies. Okay, that was just straight up some water because I think this was thickening too much, and we want it to be wet enough, liquidy enough to finish the pasta in. So we're going to let that come back to a simmer. We're going to slide over here for a moment. And we're going to work on a garnish idea that I had. Radishes make such a nice garnish because they're so striking to look at with that bright red exterior and that pure snowy white interior. And they're tasty to boot. So I want to make these look garnishy somehow. Somehow, some way. I have more carrot and more radish if I screw anything up, so. Can't you do something like. Like little flowery things? I'm not sure what I'm shooting for. This one doesn't look very good. It doesn't look even at all. I just need like a star-shaped cutter or something. I don't know. Little weird carroty things. I don't really have any decorative cutter devices. I have terrifying ribbon slicer. What if I just do terrifying ribbons? Didn't plan this one out very well, did I? Let's push this stuff around, see what we're working with over here. Probably just about where I want to put the pasta in. For our radishes, what if I just... like a little decorative pinwheel. I know there's like can do like one of these. I don't know. I'm just playing. I think we're just playing with food at the moment. We are going to add our pasta noodles to our... They have stuck. They have stuck. There we go. Pasta noodles to our sauce. Stir them through. Let them get real purple. Maybe add a little more water on top of it as well. It'll help infuse the purple. And we can actually take the temperature up. There's a machine moving. Oh, the house is starting to shake. That's not what I wanted to have happen. Cripe's safe. Oh, I gotta look out the window. What are they doing? Yeah, they got the ground packer out again. They're gonna vibrate the whole house for 20, 30 minutes while they fill in that hole. We wanted the pasta to not be fully done at this stage so that we could finish it in this purple liquid so that the noodles get infused with the purple. Because you really want them to look purple. And actually, I'm gonna... Oh, my glassware is shaking. I hate this. You're still doing this stuff, and I hate it. Oh, this jar is stuck to... Okay. Guys, why? Why? A little bit of my runny plum jam. Oh, my glassware is rattling. A little dab of my runny plum jam to enhance the sweetness a little bit and the color a little bit. Blueberries have a more of a darker purple tone than do the plums. But I don't want to add so much plum jam that it becomes super visible. Blueberries should have plenty of pigment to get this all infused. And now we just have to sort of cook it until the sauce is nice and thick. Well, thank you, Flemish. It has been quite a long time since I made this specific dish, so I'm just kind of rememberishing what I did. The pectin. Oh. Yeah, blueberries are one of the ones that have enough pectin to get away with not, maybe not having to add a bunch of thickener. How's that? It still kind of looks crappy. Yeah. I've seen worse. I've seen better. Pectinally self-sufficient. I also want to make sure we don't stick. I did turn the heat up to try to boil the pasta a little bit, but that will lead to some stickage if I'm not careful. So maybe I should keep the temperature low. Because there is quite a bit of sweetness, quite a bit of sugar in our sauce here, and that, plus now the starch from the noodles, will lend itself to sticking, because of course we're using a stainless pan. It's a nice stainless pan, it's nice and smooth, but it runs the risk. The color's looking good. The color's getting nice and deep and purpley in the noodles. And I don't see any loose juice, so that's probably all we need, actually. So I'll turn the heat off to avoid sticking. I think I'm going to give us a little dab of miso now that the heat's off. Because I did not add any other umami sources to this, and we don't have the normally when you make a tomato sauce, of course, the tomatoes are full of glutamic acid. Without that, we need something else to give us that starter source. Miso is an excellent flavor enhancer for things. I suggest getting one of these things of miso and just play around with it. It's really hard to go wrong putting miso into things. It's such a tasty, it's just kind of like concentrated savoriness. The only thing is you usually don't want to directly cook miso. So you want to mix it into stuff after you take it off the heat, but while it's still hot enough to dissolve. So at this, like at currently this stage where the thing I'm making is cooked, but still piping hot, so the miso will melt into it. You don't, when you make miso soup, you don't boil the miso directly. You add it after you've taken the water off the boil, but while it's still piping hot. Same thing if you want to put miso in your mac and cheese, which I recommend trying. It's just a delightful flavor enhancer. Our sauce has thickened up beautifully. I needn't have worried. I needn't have worried. Our sauce has thickened up beautifully. I do think that this calls for the fancy plate, though. The plate that we did not use the last time, but we are going to use this time. Because this is nice and thick, so we don't need a bowl. We can do this on a plate. And you know what that means? Crazy plate. It's crazy. The new plate. We're only an hour in. Well, okay, we're an hour in after the crash. We're an hour 20 in overall. Um, I didn't think this was going to be a super long one. I think this is why I did the chicken the first time I made this, was because I was worried about it not being long enough for a stream, because we're only an hour in. I even kind of went slow and took an aside, but oh well. And it makes one nice serving. Okay. Now we're working on uh, garnishing. What cheese? So that thing was literally, I got a package of Buldak carbonara and a pre-made chicken cordon bleu, like little frozen thingy. So and then I grated some Parmesan on at the very end. So the cheeses in there are whatever powdered cheese comes in the Buldak carbonara, which actually the package is here. But it's the powdered stuff. So what are the cheeses? Mozzarella and milk. Mozzarella and milk and butter. Um, the cheese inside the cordon bleu was just mozzarella as well, but it really oozed out, and then Parmesan over the top. That was very much I found a thing. Um, let's just slap some stuff together. I might be tempted to make that for real as a project. But that one was just, oh, I got some things. Let's toss them together. That is covering up my little rose. we're getting a little over the outside the beyond the pale with this a real stream where I make that for real might be fun. I've never made a cordon bleu from scratch. I believe I don't even know 100% what they are. The frozen ones are obviously some kind of formed shaped chicken product. Uh, but I believe the real one is a roulade. think we've gone crazy with the garnish. I think we've gone too far with the garnish. I think we've gone too far with the garnish. Someone stop me. We can do some fresh blueberries. Put them right in the middle. Little nest of little nest of carrot strands. Throw a couple of blueberries and a parsley on that. This is too much. This is too much garnish. This is too much garnish. Really, I should put this here. These should be used to fill in the radish at the top. And this bottom bit just needs to not be here. Oh yeah, the other option is to go completely too far with it, and I think these carrot ones don't look good, so I'm going to pull those as well, which means I'm also going to yank this guy. So we can use him to fill in a little bit. Like so. Better. I'm pleased. You're going to see it, of course, from the front angle, so that's going to be kind of a... The garnish there is going to be in the back. So let's go take a picture, come back, and see if I succeeded in my quest for flavor. Superman 4, the quest for flavor. Oh. Okay, let's give this a go. Mmm. 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 That's tasty. It's different. Different than last time, too, I think. It's been a while since I tasted the last one, so tough to say, but... one tiny fruit fly has joined the party. Begone. It's real tasty. It's... The olive oil jumps through, which is interesting. I can taste the olive oil specifically. It's sweet. It's just a little bit tangy. I think a dash of red wine vinegar into the sauce would have been a really good addition, or potentially a dash of just some dry red wine, which I recall maybe having done last time, which would also have enhanced the color. So I think we're missing a little bit of a sharpness. I think a little bit of wine, perhaps both, would, or like a slightly old bottle of wine where it's getting a little, you know, tangy, would enhance this quite a bit. I think that's the one element that I missed out on, because blueberries, of course, don't have nearly as much acidity to them naturally. If you did this with strawberries, which came up earlier, just before the crash disconnect, I don't think you would need to add that, because the strawberries would add. It's not very sweet. It's just a little bit sweet, but it needs. I think it needs a little bit of a sharp note that I'm not hitting. The miso is very, very nice in it, though. I was a little bit worried about it being too salty. It's not too salty. The miso gives it sort of a nice, deep, savory note. And the sweetness, it could probably have stood even a dash more of the plum jam. I don't know that I'd put any direct sugar into it. It tastes almost creamy, reminding you that there's no cheese or any other kind of dairy in this. Much of the radish goes really well with this, though. And some pepper. It needs a bite. It needs a little bit of a bite. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. The radish is actually an excellent choice, because not only does it give you a bright, crunchy counterpoint, but also it has that sort of peppery flavor, which, since this is not hitting that sharp note, goes well as a complement. I thought the radish was just there for looks, but this is why they don't pay me the big bucks. This might be the healthiest dish ever made. This one is on the healthy side for sure. We are looking at a vegan plate at the moment. Assuming I know what yeast or know what miso is. Yeah, no. We're looking at a vegan dish here. Because miso is soybean salt and koji. And koji is just the culture that ferments it. So it distinctly tastes like blueberry, but not really strongly. It tastes. You can really taste the miso. I may have added a little bit too much. I think I'd add. I think it wouldn't be too much if I also added the sharpness, because I think a little bit of acidity would bring up the fruit flavors a lot more as well. We could try doing this with strawberries. That might be good, because they have much more of a sharpness to them. But I think a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of wine is the one thing that's missing. Instead of adding more water when I needed more liquid in our pan, I should have given it a dash of wine as the extra, just splash of liquid. Not the full. We ended up adding a half a cup of extra water. I wouldn't do a full half a cup of wine. That seems like too much, but a couple tablespoons in there, just to, because the wine also brings the tannins. It gives that tannic flavor. Also, you say that a lot of Flemish, and I don't cook a lot of healthy food, because healthy food does not bring in the big bucks. Gosh, we might be out of things to say. Oh, the radish is a really good compliment, though. That nice sort of sharp, peppery crunch. I do have a bottle of wine. Cabernet Sauvignon. The thing is, I actually have an open bottle of wine, so I could have just grabbed it. I didn't have to open a bottle. We were ready. We were ready to go. And it's also a little bit of an old bottle of wine, so it would have been even that much more of a compliment. But I think a reddish wine. So just having it on the side might even be the right accompaniment here. We don't drink a lot of bottle. We don't drink a lot of bottles of wine either. We don't drink a lot of glasses of wine here on the old thing. Mmm. Oh. Yeah, actually, that goes real hard. Ooh. But actually, though, but 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 actually, though, that's really good compliment for this. Dang. I don't do pairings a lot around here. We don't do the flavor pairing thing, but boy. I'm going to say that's my pick as a pairing for this, even though I've tried no other possibilities, because it works really well. I wish I would have put a splash of that in the sauce to kind of goose it up a little bit. I don't even know how to start learning about pairings. I know that there's a bunch of pre-made pairings, but you know, we cook weird stuff around here. I don't know why I flapped my hands just then. Good stuff. Good stuff. It would also be good with some freshly grated Parmesan, which I have not added because adding that would make this not be vegan. But that salty, nutty hit would be a good compliment here as well. Pine nuts. Maybe a nut, just a garnish of a pine nut or a chopped cashew or something like that. The color is beautiful. That was the thing that happened the first time, and that's one of the things that made it one of my favorite things, is because the pasta just takes up the color from the blueberries so well. It makes it this rich purple thing. I even considered straining it out so that it's just purple pasta with none of the other saucy bits on it. Because you could cook the pasta in a small amount of strained out juice and it'll take up that color. And it's such a rich purple color. Eat more brightly colored food. Natural brightly colored foods are really good for you because the chemicals, the compounds in the foods that make them those colors are also the stuff that you want that makes the food good for you. Intense natural colors. Skittles don't count. Head went to the same place. Head went to the same place. Give me that brain cell back, Glacier. Everything ends up like a cat sick yellow. Well, you can add stuff that has color. The easiest way to take your dishes, if you're coming out with color that you don't like, is you can take them from an unappealing shade of yellow like that to a richer, darker brown. You want to avoid poop brown. You want to go for more like a rich coffee tone. And you usually can accomplish that by just slightly burning things and then mixing it in real quick. Blueberries are a super effective natural dye. Beets also are super effective natural dye. Also, red cabbage. The three big purple ones. And yeah, it's literally the thing that makes the blueberries so richly colored is also the thing that makes them healthy. Same thing with beets. Same thing with carrots. Those carrots that are purple are better for you because they got that purple stuff in them. That purple stuff ain't good for you. They should use that purple stuff as the dye on the Skittles, and then Skittles would also be good for you. I'm just kind of eating and chatting now, which I don't normally do. But I felt like we were running short a little bit today, so. They're called something cyanins. Something cyanins. Phyto. No, not that. Phyto. No. I guess I don't remember the name. They're called something cyanins. Anthocyanins. I just got it. And they're not all purple. Purple ones are very striking, but most things that are some kind of intense natural color have some anthocyanin in them, one of the different ones that gives it that bright color, and that's the stuff you want. They're very good for you. They're one of the few things that's good for you that you can also just directly see. I was looking if I had any other random vegetables I could pull out and be like this one, but I don't. I got a big hit of black pepper on that last bite. Yeah. Snack. How's everybody doing? I know I've asked already, but things have changed since last time I asked. The house stopped vibrating, for one. I should get radishes more often. Every time I get radishes. Anthocyanide. Jay's happy to be home in the AC. Jay, you must be in the same heat wave as me. It is terrible out there. And my AC has been running continually since this morning. It just has not caught up. And so it's comfortable in here, but the thing is working hard. And I have been in a factory in the summer. I used to work in a plastics molding factory. Those things are hot. Well then, hey, those injection molders are hot. Working anywhere near them is just murder. Yours are blown into. Ours were injection molds. Some of the stuff we molded was also nylon, which, if I'm remembering, melts at 450 or something. It's really hot. Your nylon is at 600. There you go. The nylon, yeah. The nylon machine. Thankfully, there was only one machine that ran nylon, and it didn't run any large parts. It ran small parts, but that thing was so hot. Yeah, I also didn't pay nearly as well as I've always been told manufacturing pays. So this was many years ago. Uh, don't don't really want to go back to that. Don't really want to go back to that. Not that I'm anywhere near that plastic factory anymore. I've moved since then. Radish. Radish. Do I have any other things to show off? I haven't bought any gadgets, I don't think. Oh, this. I have a thing to show off. Of course, I found another thing. Let's do it over here. I haven't even managed to have time to clean this one yet. It's got weird drippy streaks on the side, and it's sticky, and it smells weird. But I got a Dutch oven, another Dutch oven, because I already had one. This one's a different size, and also not enameled. I actually don't know if it's even got a coating on it or if that's just weirdly colored metal from being used strangely. It's. You cannot see that. It is Parini. Parini. I find such treasures because the thrift stores I go to are very near to where I go and do my laundry. And since I have to go there regularly and the laundry has downtime while it's running, I jump over and I look at the thrift stores, and there's two of them nearby. So I get to just go frequently and have the time to mosey through and peruse while the laundry's going. So I That's the thing. Most of the time when I go, I don't find anything. Or I'll find odd, weird things and not get them. But because I'm able to go so regularly, I will stumble upon the treasures. I got this one at Goodwill for $10. $10. It has the lid looks perfect, except there's clearly something sticky, probably on the edge of the rim here, because it keeps wanting to stick to the lid. The actual pot has some kind of gross residue on the inside that is sticky to the touch, and also when I first opened it and gave it a look, it was stinky, and stinky specifically like rancid oil. So this was not cleaned correctly last time it was used, and somebody dumped it because it was real smelly. But rancid oil can be cleaned off, so other than that, we're in good condition. It also has on the outside these streaks do have a little bit of rust on them. Maybe I'm gonna have to steel wool them down a little bit, and but otherwise it's in great shape. It's not cracked. It's a big chunk of cast iron. I'm guessing somebody only used it occasionally, and went sorting through their stuff, found it, saw these discolored streaks, and also opened it up and smelled it, and was like, ugh, I don't want to deal with this, and dumped it at the Goodwill. But the problems it has are so minor. And I was very happy to see it as well, because Dutch ovens are one of those things that do not last at the thrift store. They fly out. I probably got this one within it's probably put out within a half an hour of me being there, because the rate at which cast iron in general, but especially nicer pieces like this, just fly off the shelf is crazy. And I looked it up. Perini Dutch oven. I was able to find them on eBay. It's not a current model, near as I can tell. But I was able to find it on eBay for $30, so it's a deal. It's not like a mind-blowing deal. This isn't some legendary luxury brand. But it's a deal, and it's in good shape. So yeah. So bummed that they're saying, I don't want to do the dishes. Take them to Goodwill, unwashed. So that's my latest find. I think I'm going to have to do just a cast iron stream, because I've got a couple other ones here that need to be cleaned up that I've had now for months, and I just haven't bothered with them. And I think that might be a fun thing to just settle in and just clean and season cast irons. Because it's not hard, it's just a little bit time consuming. I've also got a wok that needs some TLC. And I told myself I would stop buying cookware because I've got quite a few of them. But that Dutch oven spoke to me. So it said, please save me. Anyways, that might be fun. Worry it won't be super visible though, because we're going to be in the sink a bunch. We could move cameras. Just throw on a movie and get to it. Kind of, except I don't want to just, because I have to steel wool the rust. So I don't want to do it somewhere where the dust will get everywhere. So it either has to be in the sink or the bathtub or outside, where I can either wash the dust away or blow the dust away. Because I don't really want iron rust dust anywhere else in the house. Although I do sometimes set up my computer over there, visible from the sink, which is here where I'm currently standing, and play stuff. So I could just do that. Try to rig this nonsense up for outdoors. See if we can't manage to do a grillin' stream at some point. That might be fun. PP Jackson, what's in blueberry butterflies? Well, we've been chit-chatting now for a little while, so they're in fact done, but this is them here. So butterflies, if you're not familiar, is what the bow tie pasta is actually meant to look like. So the butterflies are these guys. The blueberry butterflies, it's a sauce. I made a sauce in pretty much in the way you would make a tomato sauce. So I started with the mirepoix, some garlic, uh, parsley, basil, cooked all that together, got it real soft, added in about a third of one of these containers of blueberries, and cooked them out and mashed them with a potato masher until they were completely soft and smushed up. And then with a little bit of extra water, which we talked about should have been a splash of wine. That was the one thing I think was missing. So it should have been a splash of wine, maybe a little dash of red wine vinegar, but some little bit extra liquid. Throw in the mostly cooked pasta, finish it in the sauce so that the individual little butterflies here pick up that beautiful dark purple color. Serve, garnish, and then I went nuts with the garnish. I went completely nuts with the garnish. So it is a blueberry pasta sauce on the butterfly-shaped pasta, hence blueberry butterflies. And yeah, the only thing it's missing is a little bit of something sharp, something a little bit acidic. Having a glass of wine on the side was a huge help. But there probably should be a splash of wine in the sauce. Yeah, so it's sweet, and I finished the sauce with just a little bit of miso because because tomatoes have that savoriness to them. So in order to get a little bit of extra savoriness, I put just a little bit of miso in right at the end, stirred it through. But welcome, PP Jackson. How's it going? We don't normally sit around and chat so much after I've finished the thing, but the cook was real short today. So I've just been sort of chit-chatting and nibbling while we gradually bleed viewers away, because we're in that stage. Drink some wine, talk about cast iron and the Dutch oven I just picked up. This is the thing. This is the show. And yeah, this is our other new plate as well. I thought this was a good choice for it because this is pretty dark, so a light colored plate will give us a good contrast. And these these lines make it very busy as well. And I opted for no cheese, but you could add cheese to this if you would like, and that would be very, very tasty as well. Otherwise, whenever I run out of things to talk about, we're gonna wrap up and head out. My garnish, I need to practice my garnishing. These look awful. I tried doing carrot pinwheels as a garnish, and they just look terrible. That little radish thing is probably good enough, but not really on top of my garnish game, clearly. Radish is a really good flavor complement, though. I gotta throw them to the construction workers. Yeah, see what they're doing out there. Go take a shout at them out the. No, they're done now. No, they're done. Well, they're done for the day now. They filled in the hole and they're gone. I'm sure they'll be back tomorrow to dig out the hole again. Ugh. This project is taking a while. And then Jay and Ryu were trying to cajole me into doing outdoor grilling streams, which would require me to completely move all my cameras and figure out how to get something set up outside where I could see chat. Need a bunch of extension cords. Also, we're not doing outdoor grilling streams when it's this freaking hot outside. We're waiting for it to be not horribly hot. We're in the middle of this heat wave, and I'm not going out there if I don't have to. So, plenty of time to think about that. Sometime in October of next year. But yeah, I guess I'm tapped out of topics unless one of you guys have something you want to talk about. I think we'll wrap it up. That has taken us over the 2-hour mark if we count the initial loss of the stream crash right at the start. We lost about 20 minutes at the start, so. Yep, okay. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call us there. What am I going to do with the rest of the blueberries? They are probably just going to be snacking blueberries. I don't have a specific plan, and they're fresh fruit, so they won't be good next week. So if I wanted to use them for a recipe with you guys, it would have to be within the next couple of days, because fresh fruit in the summer doesn't keep super long. So I'll probably just end up snacking on them. Remember when produce used to last? No, I don't. But these are in great shape. They don't have the fuzzy bottoms that you see sometimes, especially on strawberries. Strawberries never keep, as far as I'm aware. The only time I've ever had fruit keep was when we picked our own raspberries at home. Then they would be good for quite a while. I could make all sorts of things, but honestly, I kind of just like snacking on blueberries. So I'll probably just snack on blueberries as a sweet instead of a candy. Because, we talked about how good they are for me. Let's see who's on. Thank you so much, Rayuya, for the raid messages. Little Dancing Dinos if you're not a sub. Little Happy Jupiters if you are a sub. Whomst is on right now? Squirrel. Last week when we raided Chef JT, his back gave out and he had to leave early. I went back and saw him later, which was very sad though, because that was supposed to be his stream anniversary and he was hurt. We could give him another look. Otherwise, Thy Robster's back in the kitchen. It looks like he's been on for a while and he's already plated, so that might not. I think he's winding down. Oops. I know I'm live. Thank you, Twitch, which is warning me that I'm live. Things are moving a little slow. Dinner with Mom, Shelly. We never get LaFay anymore. What do you guys think? Where should we go? If you don't come up with anything in the next 2 seconds, I'm going to go to dinner with Mom. It's dinner with Mom. Doesn't even say what they're making, so we're going to find out when we get there. Looks like chicken and green stuff. Chicken and green stuff. But let's pull my face up. thanks for showing up. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out with the nonsense and the chatting after the fact. We don't do that normally, but I don't know. I was just kind of rolling with the vibe at that point. I don't think I have much more to say. Good night. Some of you have already departed into the sweet good night. Yeah, I don't have anything more to say. Everything's all. We're gonna have a good cleanup too. There's only one, two, four things to wash. Four things to wash. And the potato masher, but that's fine. It'll be a nice, easy cleanup night. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, see you next time. There's our countdown. I'll just look around awkwardly for a moment here.